Uh, well, wait, I have a continue? I seriously have a continue. We're gonna do this as a new game. So, Final Fantasy IX, uh, really... Okay, so, a little history on this. Final Fantasy VII hit market and was just huge. Partly due to aggressive marketing, partly due to aggressive word of mouth. Final Fantasy VIII failed to impress a lot of people because it wasn't more Final Fantasy VII. It's one of those things that in America there are really two entry points into the series. Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VII are the two big entry points into the series for what most people agree are longtime fans. Depending on which one you started with, really determines which one you think is better. Both are solid games system-wise, but I will say that the GBA translation of Final Fantasy VI really got me liking the game a lot more. Otherwise, I liked Final Fantasy VII better. And both have solid systems, and both have enough going for them in their various departments that they're really, I would say, objectively more or less equal in quality overall. Final Fantasy VIII, widely considered to be the second worst game in the series after Final Fantasy II. Final Fantasy IX is really weird because it's a great game that a lot of people just did not give a chance. Hopefully my voice is coming through well enough on this here, because I did not expect this to be this loud. So, but Final Fantasy IX, it's a swan song, a love letter to the rest of the series that a lot of people passed up because of the art style. And on one hand, I can understand that because I wasn't too keen on the art style in the first place either when it first hit market, but it really is a great game. It has issues mechanically, but I'll say that it's easily still one of the best games of the series. So I'm gonna allow you to bask in this opening here. Pardon the meowing cat. She's begging, but she's already been fed. So, Okay, to start things off, this isn't necessarily readily apparent with what you're seeing on here and probably won't come through at all on YouTube, but when viewing this at full resolution, it's pretty clear that the cinematics were. To say they threw a blur on it isn't necessarily fair, but you can definitely see that they did some sort of reprocessing. Uh, the game has borders on either side because they kept the aspect ratio. This is a repaint, not a remake like they did for the HD version of like Final Fantasy X. Now, you can tell there are certain things like you can tell they did the entire thing where you know how on mobile games they'll like redo the text in just a random font. That's what they did here. They did not keep the original font at all. You can tell that the word bubble background is just kind of stretched, which isn't terrible because they did it tastefully. The models are repainted. I would say they even have a little extra care put into them to cut down on some of the sharp edges that we saw in like Final Fantasy X remake on some of the NPCs. Zidane's tail honestly looks amazing and just the way it moves really comes through well in this. And you can tell that they did redo this opening because things are a lot more tutorialized than I remember them being. And you can also see that they accounted for the different buttons. Neither of those is necessarily a bad thing. It's just one of those things where tutorializing things really is a very modern take on things, and I think the game doesn't really need it that badly. There were plenty of tutorials in Final Fantasy IX without giving you all of these extraneous windows here. So you can see the cursor updated. All of this stuff is still the same. You can kind of see as I move around the pixel processing on that bit of light was retained because it well, I mean, you can just see where the pixels are. They didn't change that. Again, more tutorializing. And this is where we see some of the other changes. I'm just going to leave all of the names as default. But you can kind of see what they did, maybe even in here, where they just kind of threw a blur over the hand-painted backgrounds. Not hand-painted, I should say pre-rendered. These backgrounds are not hand-painted. There is something that I want to address with this, though, which is interesting, and that is that Final Fantasy IX was originally planned for a PS2 release. As part of that, they actually created high-resolution backgrounds. You can still find them on the internet. There's a blog dedicated to this, and I forget if it's like a Blogger or a Tumblr or what it was. You can probably find it easily with a Google search. But they actually have not all of the backgrounds yet, but a very good chunk of them. And you can see just the glorious detail these high resolution backgrounds were rendered with for the PS2 that just does not fit in the PS1 resolution. It doesn't look like, at least not to me, it doesn't look like that's what they did with this. It's very low resolution, and I mean, it's one of those things where I suppose if the high resolution ones were 640 by 480, again, high resolution is relative. It's possible that they used what they could of those here, or that they used all of them here. Because I hate to say it, if anyone should have it, and a blog has it, Square should have the originals, because they understood after the debacle that was Final Fantasy VII that they needed to start hanging on to their resources if they wanted to do this kind of thing. That said, you can tell even at this resolution that they just threw a blur over it, which admittedly is better than what they did for Final Fantasy VIII on PC, where they just left it pixelated and crappy. So... Now, what they did to the models is gorgeous. The repaint really, really works for the models, and these 3D backgrounds are very nice. Again, more tutorializing here. We're going to start by stealing everything this guy has. You can also tell they redid the entire interface here. It almost looks like this is something that would have been on a mobile or Twitch. I'll admit I don't really like. The nice thing about this is that the game will tell you that that enemies are out of things to steal. So each enemy can have up to 3 items, and because of how things work, some items are just harder to steal than others. Stealing in this game... Alrighty, we can start attacking here now. So, anyway, stealing is really important in this game, if for no other reason than your main character is a thief. I think what they actually might have done with this is they might have even touched up the animations, which is not something they did in Final Fantasy X, because especially looking at Zidane's tail and how it moves, it has a little extra flip to it that just was not there in the original version. And if you saw, like, when he patted Zidane on the head, the extra movement to the fingers, I think they actually cleaned up some of the animations here, which makes sense because boy, I hope I can be heard over the music. This is very loud. I'm actually going to turn this down. Ooh. Oh, crud. That was dumb of me. Alright. That's a little better, I think. I don't know how that's going to come through in the recording here, but hopefully it's going to mean less less echo. Um, and actually, I think I took back my. Yes, I did. My brother was using my mic for voice chat, so let's get this going here too. Oh, okay. Train of thought derailed. So, let me just make sure that this is on here. Cat, no, that is not to play with. That is an electrical cord, baby girl. Okay, mic is on. Alright. I apologize for the sound quality issues. I was not thinking that through. Let's see here. Trainer. Anyway, animations, I think they might have actually cleaned them up a little bit. You can see how nicely Zidane's tail moves. The movement of his heel as he fidgets over there. All of those types of things. I mean, they didn't redo everything. You can see the hands are still all one piece like they always were. But, even the doll got a repaint. That's amazing. So, something I always really liked about this game is that, honestly, all of these animal people are running around and just nobody asks why. Baku is clearly some sort of pig. Marcus looks for all the world like some sort of orc or half-orc. Blank clearly has been patched together out of several different pieces, so I mean, I don't know if you would call him a golem or Frankenstein, or maybe he just had some really heavy surgery or something. And then I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure Cinna is the only actual full human of any of these guys. So it's just like, you got these guys and they're just so ragtag. None of them is even the same race as each other. Let me just clarify that none of these cinematics have been changed. They've always been beautiful. It's it really is a pretty game when it lets itself be. We got some nice models moving over the moving background there. So, I believe this is actually Vivi's theme. And, this isn't going to be exactly a guide run, but I kind of... Not what I intended. Come on. There we go. Hey, cards. Okay. So this looks like they actually changed the prompts. You can talk to people, or you can challenge them to card duels. I am not going to waste everybody's time with cards. If you want to read that, you can pause. I'm not going to, Ah. There we go. You know, actually... So they repainted the icons, of course, but let's actually see here what they did to all of these wonderful cards. Nothing all that impressive. I am slightly disappointed. Thought I had to sneeze there for a second. I'm sure now that I turned it back on, it's gonna sneak up on me and you're gonna get an earful of it, so I apologize in advance. Anyway, this early game is just littered with stuff to... pick up. That's another thing that I really love about this. Whoops. That's unfortunate. Luckily, I don't think there's any particular penalty of taking that. Not like in Final Fantasy VII when you, rob the kid. Nope. In, Midgar, that comes back to bite you if, you do that. I'm gonna quick check the settings, because there is no reason that I should need to hold circle. Oh no, I'm not using the boosters. No boosters. Trust me, I will not need it. Okay, we're gonna change the movement to run. Why they couldn't just do it normally with the analog stick is beyond me. They still have normal and classic. Alright, why is vibration... Okay, we're gonna turn vibration on. That's just tutorials. Okay. Wait, that works for me. I plan on taking this a little slow here. Alright. Works for me. There, that's better. Anyway, there is a ton of stuff to pick up in the early game here. None of it is necessarily amazing or anything. It's just there. You can see some of the seams. Hey Phil, I'm streaming. You can see some of the seams here where, with that light bit there that they didn't cut it out exactly. I mean... I thought he was going to elaborate on that. Ah. Ah. Okay. Getting sloppy here. Alrighty, nothing that I don't already have enough of for this point in the game. There we go. That is something nice that they have all of that flavor text. Alrighty. Well, I am going to cut this off because it is the half-hour mark here. So, I'll probably get back to this a little later. But, where the heck is a Moogle? I'm not sure I'm going to do much more with this tonight, but... Ether are always good to have. Seriously, there's gotta be a Moogle around here somewhere. Phoenix Pinions, those are actually important in this game. Phoenix Pinions are different from Phoenix Downs in this game. Phoenix Pinions you can actually equip as an item, believe it or not. Or as an accessory, I should say. Why is there not a Moogle? Where are all the Moogles? Seriously, there's gotta be a Moogle somewhere. This doesn't go anywhere. Nothing in here at all. Seriously, my kingdom for a Moogle. Most people probably don't know you can go in here. And to get more stuff. I know for the first several times... You're not gonna let me past, are you? What are you hiding up there? I might have to come back later. Ah! I could swear that that was supposed to drop an item of some sort. Seriously. maybe I'll have to do that later. I might actually have to hit up a guide for this. I mean, it's not actually particularly useful for me, but... Hey, hot diggity. Fudge! Score! Not so score. Seriously, is that it? That's seriously it. That was what she was guarding. I mean, 3 gil is nothing to write home about. Oh, that's that. She's not there. You literally can, and I'm actually going to take this cat back to him. There is a reason to do so. Where did that cat go? Literally, I think it's all the way up the first screen or something. There he is. Where's my reward? Square really has a thing for cats, actually. Chrono Trigger is kind of the same way. Like, literally, in Chrono Trigger, you have the option of bringing somebody's cat back to them. I am weaving like a drunk with these controls. There we go. Hey, a bomb card! Square also has a real problem thinking people care about card games. There was literally an online like actual triple triad for a while there, and it's just like, why would you take literally the worst part of Final Fantasy 8 and 9 and make it its own thing? Okay. Now, if you actually wait around here, you can run into a character called Alleyway Jack, and you can card battle him. I don't really have any interest in doing that, though. If this is what it takes, you know what? I'm just gonna cut this short here, because this has gone for 10 minutes too long.